So you could twerk it. Oh my God, why do I even do YouTube? I quit. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Junk Food Zombie channel. Got another muzzle brake video for you guys today. Today we are doing the BD2-556 brake by Meridian Defense Corp. If you haven't seen my AK videos using the brakes for Meridian Defense Corp for those, check it out below. I'll leave links and you can kind of get an idea of where this came from and who makes this brake. Now, I want to let everyone know here, I paid for the BD2 AK brake with my own money. I purchased it and I did a review on it. And I liked it, and Meridian Defense Corp saw the video, they contacted me, and they sent me the BD3 brake, and they sent me this AR brake. So I did not pay for these, just to let you know, but I did pay for the original one out of my own pocket, and this is pretty much identical, only it's on an AR and not an AK. So there will be some differences. So your size and your weight compared to an A2 birdcage flash hider, it's pretty much identical. Same exact size, almost the exact same weight, almost to the ounce. So I got a little list here. I'm just checking my notes, so don't mind me looking away. Now there's a difference in the way I tested this between the AKs and the ARs, and some of you are probably going to notice and point it out, so I'm just going to tell you why I'm doing this. With my AKs, I tested the muzzle brake versus an AK with no muzzle device. It was just a barrel nut, and for those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's just a thread protector. It's not a muzzle device at all. So when I compare this brake on the AR-15, I'm going to be comparing it to this, which is an A2 birdcage flash hider. Why the difference? Why am I comparing two muzzle devices on the AR and only one muzzle device on the AK? Simply because when you buy an AK, you're probably going to get a muzzle nut. You might get a slant brake. Or if the company who built that rifle uses a specific brake, or they have choices of brakes when you order it, there's a lot of variation in what you can get on an AK when you get it. So kind of comparing it to no muzzle device was about the fairest comparison I could make for most people to get an idea of how they perform. Now with an AR-15, you go out and you buy an AR-15, this is what comes on it. 9 times out of 10 on most ARs you're going to buy. Now you might buy a higher end rifle, it comes with something a little nicer, or made by the company who makes that rifle, but 90% of the time you're getting an A2 birdcage flash hider on it. So I figured that was a more real-world comparison for the AR. So that's what explains the difference. So you will see a little bit of a difference in your muzzle flash because of that, but that's for later. Okay, so my test parameters for what I'm doing is similar to the other videos. I'm going to put a target about 7 to 10 yards away, and it's just going to be a little 2-inch or 2.5-inch circle or a 2-inch square, and I'm going to take 5 slow shots at it, aimed shots. So I basically start with the muzzle in the same spot, and that's just going to give you an idea of how far the muzzle moves back and how much it moves upward. Then I'm going to take 5 rapid fire shots at the same target, and the follow-up shots will come as my sights come back on target. The reason I'm using such a small target is if I use a torso target at that same distance or within 10-15 yards, it's too easy to get follow-up shots, and you won't really see much of a difference between the muzzle devices that way. So I'm going for a small target to see how much quicker you can get back and how much more precise you can be. That's the best way I can think of to kind of let you see how the muzzle control works under a more rapid-fire situation. So let's head to the range and test them out, and then we'll come back in here and have a conclusion. Yeah, probably should have said that a little clearer. We'll come back here, and I'll give you my conclusions. All right, guys, we'll see you when we get back. Okay, so here we have the A2 birdcage flash hider, pretty much the standard muzzle device that you get on most AR-15s out of the factory. And we're just going to do 2 things. We're going to shoot 5 slow aimed shots so you can just get an idea of which way the muzzle is moving, how far back, how far up. And then we're going to do the same thing with the muzzle brake. And then we're going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to be aiming at a fixed point, and I'm going to be taking more rapid fire shots. I'm just going to take shots as quickly as I can get the optic back on target, and we'll see how much of a difference in time it makes between the flash hider and the muzzle brake. Now this is a 5.56, so There's not a lot of recoil to begin with, but we're just going to see if it can give us that edge, see what kind of difference it makes. So here we go. Okay, so pretty typical, up and to the right a little bit, and you won't see the left and right movement with the camera, but you'll see the muzzle rise and you'll see the rearward recoil. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the other brake, and we're going to see how that does. Okay, so now we'll be using the BD2-556 muzzle brake. I'm going to take slow shots, 5 shots, so you can see the muzzle movement up and rearward, and then I'm going to take 5 shots rapid fire like I did with the birdcage flash hider, just to see how quickly we can get the rifle back on target, see how much of a difference this muzzle brake makes. Okay, now we're going to take 5 rapid fire shots with this, just aiming at a small, like 2 by 2 inch square. We're just going to see how quickly we can get the rifle back on target to take our follow-up shot. So I'm not just going to be shooting as fast as I can, because that doesn't tell you a whole lot, because I can blast away at a torso and hit every time at 10 yards. So I'm trying to aim at a small point so that you can see how quickly you can really get back onto a target and be a little more precise with it. So this is the A2 flash hider. Okay, so there's your 5 shots. I got some of those shots back on target a little quicker. Maybe I could have been a little more consistent, but it's 5.56, so there's not a lot of recoil to begin with. I just want to see what kind of difference this BD2 makes with this rifle, to see if it makes as much of a difference as it did with the AK. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead. I'll actually have 2. I have a BD2 and a BD3, but obviously the BD2 brake is going to be the most comparable to this, and I test that on a 5.45 and a 7.62 by 39 AK, so check that out. I'll put the link down below. Okay, so we got the BD2 brake on, and we're going to take our rapid fire shots, see how fast we can get our follow-up shots, if it makes any difference over the A2 birdcage flash hider. Again, guys, I probably repeated this a couple times, 223 doesn't have that much recoil, but it is keeping the muzzle flatter, and we'll see how that affects our shooting. Okay guys, so that was the BD2. Objectively, I can't tell you a whole lot. I have to go back and look at the footage, but subjectively, the muzzle felt really flat. I didn't really see any muzzle rise. I wasn't fighting any muzzle rise, and my follow-up shots I feel were a little bit faster with this than they were with the A2. Again, not trying to beat a dead horse here, but 5.56, there's not a lot of recoil to be dealt with. However, if you want that little bit of edge, this can do it for you. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna review the footage, and then I'm gonna go to the reloading room. I'm going to film a little bit of a conclusion and give you my thoughts on this as a whole. All right, I'll see you there. All right, guys, so we're back from the range. What do I think? Well, I'm going to look at my notes again, so forgive me for glancing to the side. Recoil in your shoulder. Again, and I mentioned it a bunch of times before, 223 5.56 has very little recoil to begin with. Does it reduce it? Yeah, I felt a little bit of a difference. I'd say 20 to 25% is a pretty safe guess subjectively. You may think differently looking at the footage, but that would be my guess. The cartridge doesn't have much to begin with, so it's really not a huge subject to discuss. What it did make a difference in, and it worked the same way as it did with the AK, was your muzzle rise. It really helped keep that muzzle flat. Your follow-up shots on a small target were quicker to acquire. It just kept that muzzle nice and flat. I didn't get that upper right movement that you normally get out of an AR. It just moved to the right just a tiny bit, and the vertical movement was pretty much eliminated. I mean, you couldn't really ask for something to shoot much flatter than this, especially a device as small as this. It's not a big break. Excuse me. A muzzle flash, again, I kind of mentioned before, it's not really a fair comparison. This is a flash hider. The BD2 is a muzzle brake with no advertisement of being a flash hider of any sort. However, that being said, it did a pretty good job at keeping it minimized. If you've seen other muzzle brakes in low light situations, you'll see they make some pretty good flashes, and I don't have any pictures of my AR shooting with no muzzle device. If I did, you'd see a pretty good flash. If I can find one, I'll put it up here, but I may not find one. However, it was minimal. What you couldn't see from the picture that I'm posting up here of the muzzle flash at night is you're seeing it from the side, so you're seeing the small ball of flash that's coming out the side. However, when you're looking over the bore through the optics, it was kind of shaped like an infinity symbol, like a sideways figure 8. You had a little ball of flash on either side and a kind of a valley in the middle. So there was no obstruction to my vision through that sight and to the target. I saw a little bit of a glow, and that was it. It wasn't even really distracting. I was just kind of paying attention to see what I could see, and it wasn't much. So as far as the muzzle flash it does have, it's minimal. I think they do a really good job of keeping it minimized, considering it's not a flash hider. So they do a pretty good job with that. Side blast, concussion, very little. Behind the trigger, you don't notice it. The only time I noticed it is when I stopped and said, let me listen, and I compared the two, and I barely could hear or feel a difference standing next to the rifle, and I shot it, or I had my wife shoot it with me standing next to it, and there's very little difference between the two. So compared to some other brakes I've stood next to, it fares very well in that regard. Okay, last thing, price, quality. The price, I don't know, because last I checked, it wasn't on their website yet. It's a new product. I'm assuming that being that it's identical to the BD2 for the AK, that it's pretty much going to be in that $60, price range. Fit and finish, same as the BD2 for the AK. It's really good. There's no real sharp edges. There's no rough machine marks. The finish is good. Laser engraving is good. The quality for the price you're getting, they hit a home run. I think overall, it's an effective brake. The quality's good. The price is good. It's kind of a really good product overall, and there's very little to complain about. I really don't have much to complain about at all, if I really think about it. So yeah, would I buy one? Well, I did buy one for my AK, and I was very happy with it. So I was considering buying one for an AR, and well, they sent it to me, so I kind of lucked out in that regard. I like it. If you guys are looking for something that gives you good muzzle control without too much muzzle flash at a good price, good quality, I say you're good to go. And I've shot some other stuff, and I think it fares very well comparatively. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that helps you out, make you a decision if you were interested in this, you were looking at it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye. We'll be shooting some ammo. We'll be shooting some ammo out of this gun. We're not going to be shooting jelly beans out of this gun, okay? No jelly bean shooting today. Man, I suck. I suck at this. I suck at this. Why do I do this? Everybody's better than me. All right, so we got the BD2. We're going to take our rapid fire shots. We're going to see if we can't get our okay, so we got the BD2 on the oh man, I quit. I just